darkness, my old friend. I was about to accept life of solitude. Yo, man, remember we used to make them mud cakes here? You would always bring water from the river in your small beach bucket. Yeah, man, then we dump it in the sandbox and make mud cakes. Well, is it mud cakes if it's sand, though? I mean, yo, big one for daddy, man. Medium one for mama. You small one for the baby. The only thing that kept me going was a small hope that one day these things could change. Even though I should have just accepted the reality of the situation, it was still too sad to give up completely. It was too frightening to accept the reality that I may never meet anyone again. Most of all, I just didn't want to be lonely. Oh no, we're here, this is where I live, remember, man? Yeah, the walls seem much lower now. Haha, yo, I'm known to you, man. I've been trimming them down little by little, man, every day since you left. What? Or something like that, you know. Well then, see you tomorrow. Yo, see you, dog. I turned to leave from my house. Oh, yo, Riku, man, I miss you, man. I turned around and faced her again. You remembered my name. She winked. Haha, I got a good memory too. You're a fast one, man. What? Oh God, what the fuck am I doing? It was dark by the time I returned home. After I ate dinner with my father, I went back to my room. I noticed that he had left my new school uniform hanging on the wall. That's right, tomorrow I would have to go to class. I grabbed it and tried it on. I had never worn a school uniform in my life before. Now, I really did look Japanese, even though I am technically Japanese, whatever. I turned around and checked out what it looked like from behind. Not bad. You're checking out your own ass, Riku. What the fuck are you doing? Maybe I should also do something with my hair. The other guys I've seen in Japan, all I pretty much, fashioned it out or whatever. Nothing like what I saw in America anyway, where we all just kind of shave our heads. I took the uniform off, took a shower, and laid in bed. Just who was I anyway? I knew I had ceased to be Japanese a long time ago. Maybe I should introduce myself as an American tomorrow. But I knew I wasn't an American either. It was a waste of time thinking of things like this. Whether I was Riku or Richard or I was myself. If whatever I wasn't accepted to others, then nobody would like me. It was as simple as that. It wouldn't be very different from the usual. But she remembered me. Maybe that time would be different. I tried to think back of the old days when I used to play with Nami. All I could grasp were brief fragments of our childhood. The mere existence of those fragments made her different from anyone else whom I met before. All this time I had wished for someone I could look back in time with, hadn't I? There was a moment of my middle school graduation when everyone was getting their yearbook signed by their friends. As I watched everyone else laugh, cry, speaking fondly amongst each other about events that had occurred years ago in their childhood, I resented them because they reminded me that I had lost. And yet, I wished that I could be part of them. I wanted to laugh with them and have them sign my yearbook. So I hid myself, too afraid to finally accept that I had lost everything by joining the celebration. All the friends I had lost, all the homes I had left. I couldn't bear to admit that I had forgotten about them and moved on. I'm sorry, Riku. If only someone like Nami had been there. I wonder what would have happened to her since then. 8 years was a long time. I wonder if she was still a virgin. Is that what you're wondering about? Bet that's what you wondered about. Homebound. Homeward. Woo! The next morning I woke up early to go to school. As soon as I stepped out the door, a familiar face greeted me. Oh shit. Hey yo, what up, Riku, man? Yo, good morning. Yeah. That's right, we were going to walk to school together, weren't we? Nami looked really different compared to yesterday now that she was in her school uniform. I like her hair back. Personally. I smiled and followed her toward the school, taken by the fact that she had grown up so much since I left, like she had breasts now and stuff. Considering that last time I saw her was when she was 10 years old and I was still used to seeing her grown up. It wasn't, Yo, man, I can't believe Riku's back. It feels like forever since we done walked to school together. Remember like this, huh? Yeah. Haha, yo, you didn't have to worry about that thing, man. It's the beginning of the term, man. You haven't missed anything much. I don't know, if you need help, yo, I can always help you out with your homework. Nami stamped her chest and nodded, looking pretty confident of her abilities. Somehow, though, I don't ever recall her being particularly good with schoolwork. We crossed an old wooden bridge overlooking a concrete water canal on the way to school. From the bridge, I could see a distant mountain range. I stopped for a moment to take in the view. Yo, man, there weren't any mountains where I lived in America. Nah, man, Japan's really pretty, huh? Huh? Yo, man, they built this bridge a really long time ago, before the canal was even made, man. Even though it's really old, a lot of people done been coming over here, been attracted to it, and the city they tear it down. They're gonna build a canal. I didn't know that. Oh, man, you sure? Yo, I'm pretty sure we used to cross it all the time, man, when we were younger. I tried to think back to before I left Japan, but nothing came to mind. Sorry. Nah, man, it ain't that important. Yo, we gonna get going? Yeah. Haha, yo, by the way, yo, you got a girlfriend, dog? Oh, that was a pretty direct question to ask this early in the morning. I was caught off guard by the question and remained silent. Oh, yo, so you do, huh? No, I don't. Haha, yo, you should've said so sooner, dog. I was just caught by surprise, that's all. Even though I had answered her question, Nami still kept eyeing me pretty suspiciously. Oh, I wasn't sure what else to tell her, aside from the fact I really didn't have one, you know, whatever. She was straightforward about this stuff, wasn't she? Yo, so, yo, more interested in Japan women, right? Well, it's not really that simple, you know? I've never really stayed in one place long enough to really get involved in relationships like that. Now I kind of wanted to ask Nami the same question, but it felt too forward asking a girl a question like that, so I held off. Besides, if she had a person like that now, I was probably going to find out about it sooner or later anyway. Otherwise, that might be awkward. Pretty soon we arrived in front of the school. Yo, man, we almost there. It's a lot bigger than what I saw in the photographs. Haha, isn't it, yo? Haha! Just then, we could hear the first bell ring. Oh, yo, we better get going, dog! I've been going to the staff room now. Alright, man, yo, I'll see you later then. Yeah, I'll see you later. After a visit to the staff room, I was led to my new classroom by the head room teacher. I wrote something Shiraku on the corner of the board and introduced myself. Hello everyone, my name is Riku. I'm 18 years old. I returned to Japan after having lived abroad for 9 years. I'll be in your care from now on, bros. The teacher directed me to an empty seat in the classroom. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the same class as Nami. I guess we'll just have to meet during the lunch period instead. As soon as homeroom ended, a crowd of students gathered around me and raised a commotion. Student A. Where did you stay abroad? Well, I lived in America for 5 years. Crazy, dude, so you could speak, like, a lot of English? I guess so. Haruka. Everyone! Please teach us English, Sabajala. Yeah, me too, me too. You mustn't trouble the transfer! Say, like, something in English for us? Everyone please listen! All of a sudden, the thunderous crash of chairs tipping over and hitting the floor finally brought an abrupt silence to the room. A small girl laid on the floor with a dazed look on her face. Wow, man, like, Jabba, are you okay? Haruchan needs help! The classroom rushed to help the Inachara back up. Yeah, man, you okay? You need to go to, like, the nurse's office? I think I'll manage! The girl looked back to her feet and tried her best to hide her embarrassment at having tripped over a chair. How do you do that? How do you trip over a chair like that?
Hey everyone, you shouldn't bother a transfer student like that. I'm sure Sinabajama has other commitments and can't teach everyone English.
I've never seen anybody this interested in learning English before, and I live in America, so... The classroom reluctantly agreed with her.
Now let's get this classroom back together. Social studies will be in like 5 minutes.
With everyone's help, we managed to return the chairs to their usual grid pattern. They sure were organized about this, weren't they? In America, I had rarely seen classrooms arranged into a grid. That's right, because America don't give a fuck.
It's nice to meet you, Sanabajaba. I'm Hiroka Nabadaba. The Abajaba of the class 32. I hope we get along from now on.
Thanks for helping me out back there.
It was no problem. That's because I'm the Abajabada. Anyway, if you need any help getting around the school, then please feel free to ask.
With an embarrassed look on her face, she scurried back to her seat in front of me and reached into her desk to find her pencil case, staring at it as its contents for a moment and putting it right back. She looked kinda out of it for an amadabada. I don't know what that word is. Before long, the rest of the day's classes began. I guess that's like a class president, probably? I don't know. Minnesota High School was a private school that focused mainly on international studies, so it didn't feel like I was being very behind in many of the classes. In fact, I was probably ahead of everyone in English. Anyway, since I transferred near the beginning of the school year, we weren't really looking that far into any of our classes. Still, I couldn't afford to slack off, so by lunchtime, my notebook was already filled with notes. Damn, dude. Now I think I'll head off to the cafeteria to grab some bread.